Hi everybody, welcome tonight. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Facebook Live in case that you've never used it before to help you. Let me move this just a little bit here. But Facebook Live, it's just such an amazing feature. It's great. We can talk real time here right on Facebook. So what you can do is you are able to interact with this. It's something that can happen live in real time. And I would love for you to post any questions and things that you have as they come up. Switch us here just a little bit. So Chris, welcome. Jordan, welcome. Thank you everybody else that's here coming in. I'd love to hear that you've joined. But so if any time that you have questions or things like that, please post them in the comments and we'll make sure to answer those and to help you as much as possible. I'm so grateful that you're here tonight. I'm so excited to just share a little bit about this opportunity because I think that this opportunity with Team Beachbody can work on so many levels for everyone, and it's just something that's really blessed my life. So welcome Katie, welcome Rachel. So glad that everybody is here. So, I want you guys to know that this call, I do a lot of these types of calls or business opportunities, and a lot of them are for a big mix of people. But tonight I really brought together a particular group of people that, again, kind of more of a mastermind, I would say, people that I really respect, that I know to have already be very successful, that I already know have exuberated leadership qualities and mentors and people that have come into my life through, sports teams, through work, through neighbors, friends, but I so respect everybody that's here tonight and am just so grateful for your time and hope that you'll leave here feeling good about this opportunity, having a few ideas of ways that you can incorporate this, or maybe being like me and introduced to it and seeing this as an opportunity that you can grow and move and motivate into your career. So I have to be honest and let you know that there's so many of you here and many of you that couldn't be here tonight that I had invited that I have thought of sharing this opportunity for a really long time. But, for the same reasons that I just mentioned, you being successful, really already being, having a career, having a lot of interest, being busy people, a lot of those reasons are the same reasons that I haven't presented you with this opportunity. But as I mentioned this morning, if you watched that brief clip this morning, when I started this opportunity as a Beachbody coach, I just really felt in my heart that, health and fitness was a catalyst to something, but it was to something bigger, something that I was going to be able to do and help people with and give to people bigger than just losing weight. And I really do feel like I have been able to find that. And, as I've thought about that, and thought about why not share with you guys, why not share with the successful people in my life, the people that I know are motivated and driven, because that was me. I was highly successful. I am highly successful. I've been a six-figure income earner. I was one of the top producers in my corporate job before I left to be a stay-at-home mom. And I was busy, and I'm really busy now. I'm a mom of 5, and I stay at home, and I run my house, and that is really busy. And so I thought, this job really fits well for me. This opportunity fits so well for me. Why wouldn't it fit for all of you in my life that I know are the same way? And if I found something that made my life better from this, what could you find from this too? So again, thank you for being here because that's why you're here. I really want to be able to share this story and share with you what I've been able to find. And a couple of things come to mind as I put this into words. And one of my quotes that I've always lived by was Anna Quindlen. And some of you know this about me, but this quote says, if your success is not on your own terms, if it looks good to the world but does not feel good in your heart, it's not success at all. And I think too, a lot of the times when I was working full time. And you guys, I loved my job. I loved the company. I loved what I did. I was in business development and worked with clients and companies to help them find people and make their lives better. And it was very rewarding, but it never fully felt successful to me, especially after I had kids and I had a family. And it was hard. It pulled at my heart to try to be the best mom I could, to try to be the best wife that I could, and try to be this successful corporate woman working 10 to 12 hours a day, putting everything into my job that, you know, just didn't ever have the opportunity to shut off. You know, there's always something to do, always something that needed to be done. There was no 8 to 5 and you go home and you focus on the other things that are important. There was just always this drain, and while I was very successful, you know, it was never the success that felt really good in my heart. I put another quote in this group that people don't get into this because they have time. They get into this because they want time. And this is so true, right? This is why we work so hard. We don't live to work, we work to live. But in a lot of our lives, we work so much, we work so hard, we work for someone else. We always have to cater to the demands of where somebody else wants us to be and what we need to do, that, you know, sure, we build some of that flexibility into our lives, and, you know, we get to do some things with our family, but do you get the time that you want? Do you have the time in the ways that you want to work out, to go on vacation, to be at your family's functions and events, to be there for the things that you want to be in your life? That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to get. And in a lot of ways I felt stuck working in corporate America because while I just didn't feel like I could get there. But this is an opportunity, you guys, that can bring a lot of balance into our lives, that can really help us to take advantage of who we are, driven people who want to be successful, who work really hard, but give us more opportunity to be present, to have more time to do those things with our family and to make a good income at doing it. And all through something that really makes an impact in helping people and helping people to live better lives. And I just think that's amazing, and I hope that you will too. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story, and some of you know that well and some of you don't know it maybe quite as well, but you know, I kind of feel like I went through the textbook scenario of getting into my career. I went to school at Utah State, I got a degree, and then I went out to find a job in corporate America. I landed an opportunity as a recruiter, which led to opportunities to grow into management and sales, and I loved it. You know, when I started this job when I was in my early 20s, it was demanding, sure, it was a lot of long hours. I typically worked from 7:30 in the morning till about 6 o'clock at night, and you know, then as I said, sometimes that required some other commitments after work or, you know, at home or to get things ready for the next day, but I loved it. I was newly married, so I didn't really have a lot of other commitments other than working this job. You know, I didn't like that it took me a little bit away. You know, in college I had so much ability to do a lot of different things. You know, I ran track and cross country, I was in clubs, you know, I did a lot of different things, and when I went to work, it kind of is that you went to work, right? And that kind of became the focus. And so it was hard to be doing that and being somewhere 10 to 12 hours a day. But, you know, I just felt like that was the way it was. And I was excited to be there, and I was excited to do the work, and I was enjoying it, and I was being successful and in growing and, you know, moving my way up into better positions. So I really loved it. And it was a couple of years later that we started our family, and I was blessed with a new baby boy. And, you know, all of a sudden I took 6 weeks off, you know, to nurture this brand new being in my life. And then I was faced with what am I going to do with him? What am I going to do with this baby? And it was really hard to know that I was going to, you know, because I didn't really have a choice at that point. I needed to go back to work, and I was going to go back to work working full time. So I just, you know, I had to rely on someone else to do that, to basically hand over my son for 10 to 12 hours a day for somebody else to raise him, to give him everything that he needed, to see those milestone moments happen. And, I really didn't like that feeling. So I worked really hard that year, and I hit some big goals at work, and I feel like I put myself in a position to ask for some concessions, so to speak. And I asked for an alternative work schedule, and I was given that opportunity to rearrange my schedule a little bit more so I could work from home a little bit and be a little bit more present. And, I made it work. And, this happened. I had baby number 2 and baby number 3 and baby number 4. And, so obviously they're growing this time, and now I've got kids in school and, doing activities and, or wanting to do activities and, having events that they wanted me to be at and to go to. And it just kept getting harder because there was still that pressure to be at work, to be present, to always be available for anyone who needed me whenever they needed me. And I just kind of felt like this weight on my chest, that work was just always this presence that I couldn't get out of my mind, so I couldn't be fully present in my home. I couldn't be fully present in what I wanted to do. I didn't have a lot of time to work out or work on some of the things that I wanted to do, the hobbies that I had. And, but, I just kind of suppressed those feelings and told myself that I needed to be grateful because I had a great job and I was making really good money. And if those are the things that were also important to me, that this just had to be the way it was going to be. And, it was about that time that I was really contemplating leaving my job because, again, it just never really, it was this roller coaster that I continued to ride of feeling at times that it was okay and then periods where I just felt like I was drowning and that I couldn't do this anymore. And I was becoming that person who dreaded Sunday nights and knowing that I had to go to work the next day and just having to do it all over again and, not seeing my kids except for an hour or two and putting them to bed and, missing their important functions and not, it really crushed me in the summers because, I knew they were there all the time wanting to do things and I just couldn't give them that. I just didn't have the ability to be there for them, to be fully present. So, I finally advanced to a position, we were creating a position for me and to allow me a lot more flexibility than I had. And, it was going great, but, we became successful. We landed a couple of accounts, it was growing, and it came to a point where it needed someone more fully there, more present. So I was going to have to make a decision, either take more on myself and re-add the hours, re-add a lot more of the work and being more present, or I was going to have to hire somebody. And at that point, I'd already quit my job once, came back, was convinced to come back, and I just at that point, I just really felt like there was a crossroads for me, that this was the moment that I really had to look at myself and make that hard decision of what I was going to do. And I decided that I couldn't do that to someone else's career, to bring them in when I wasn't fully committed to making that work. And I just felt like I was supposed to be home, that was my place, that I needed to be home, that my kids needed me. So I stepped into the dark. I left my company, and it was so scary. It was so scary because I didn't know what to expect. I'd always been very stable. My husband had, gone through different jobs every couple of years, which, is fine. That's pretty standard for the industry. But I'd worked for this company for 13 years. I was in a very high position. I was, very secure in my position. But I stepped into the dark. I said, I left it. I left it all. And it was really, really scary for me because, Jared and I had always worked really hard to stay out of debt and to have things paid off. So, it gave us some security to know that when I left my job, we didn't have a lot of extras that we had to pay for. We were paying for our mortgage, we were paying for our daily, our monthly bills and expenses. but we didn't have all of those extras. So that gave us a lot of peace of mind. But you guys, we cut our income by over 60% when I left my job. So while it left us on paper that we were fine, that we would make it, I just knew that at some point I was going to have to get something else. I just, you know, we love the lifestyle that we live. We love not having to worry about the extras. I mean, if something came up where, you know, we had a lot of extra bills one month, it would be really detrimental to our savings. And, you know, we weren't able to just take vacations or take off and go somewhere like we used to be. We weren't able to do a lot of extracurricular activities and things for our kids. You know, we were just going to have to limit all of that stuff. And, you know, we were willing to do that because we both felt like this was a really good decision for us. But I just knew in my heart that at some point, you know, meeting that bottom line was going to be really tough, and I would probably have to go look for something. And so I always thought about that in the back of my mind, and it was a stress to me. It was a stress, even though the moment I stepped, the first day I was home full time, I never felt it was wrong. I never felt bad about it. I never felt that it was the wrong decision. But you know, those stresses of money are always there, and it's hard to work with that. So, you know, so I left, and almost immediately, a good friend of mine, Wendy Bankhead, who's on here tonight, thank you, introduced me to Team Beachbody and this opportunity. And I knew Beachbody. Probably a lot of you know Team Beachbody through programs like Insanity, P90X. Shakeology is you know, something in the a shake in the market that's not like anything else, a nutrient-dense shake, minimally processed and made with a lot of superfoods. You know, so there is a lot of name recognition for Beachbody, and I'd actually done a program for Beachbody. It was Turbo Jam, and I loved it. You know, she said, you should really do this coaching thing, because I'd always been into fitness. You know, I run marathons, I do triathlons, I, you know, was engaged in boot camps and things like that. So I loved fitness, and I loved having that time for myself. But I just knew I couldn't do it, you know, and I was skeptical. You know, when I thought of multi-level marketing companies like this, you know, it made me think of home parties like with Mary Kay, or having, you know, you hear all these stories of people having to just sell these products to all their friends, or like they're, you know, people running away from them because, you know, they're like, you know, it's not Tina anymore. Now I'm just a multi-level marketing company trying to get people to buy things and do things for the wrong reason, and, you know, it's a scam, and you know, those were my thoughts. That was it, and I was like, you know, I really don't want to be a part of any of that, and I really didn't want to go back right into committing to a job where, you know, I was going to put way too much into it, or have to put a lot into it that I just didn't have time for. So I told her I wasn't interested, and you know, it was a few months later she actually gave me some samples of Shakeology. And you know, at the time, you guys, pretty much was a loner in my fitness. You know, I worked out a lot from home on my own, or I went to a boot camp, but I trained a lot on my own. And you know, I felt like I had things that worked for me. I drank a protein shake after I worked out. I knew I needed to work on my nutrition if I really wanted results. You know, I loved Turbo Jam. I loved the Beachbody programs. I loved a lot of the fitness that I was doing, but I never lost that extra weight, you know, and I was overweight, probably 20, 25 pounds. You know, I had 5 kids. I, you know, worked a full-time job where I took people out to eat every day. You know, I was tired when I came home and didn't make great food for my family. I just did whatever I could to survive, and I told myself that that's what I had to do, you know. So I knew that there was improvements I could make, but I wasn't ready to commit to something like that. So, and I just felt like I had a system that was working for me. So I took the samples, because that's what friends do, right? You don't turn a friend down. And I promptly just put them in my shelf in the pantry, and you know, I felt bad that I took these samples and didn't use them. So what I did was made them for my husband, and I sent him off to work. And I said, hey, Wendy, why don't you try these? And I sent him off to work with these shakes. And I didn't even think anything of it. I think I had 3 or 4 days of shakes, so I just made him one every day and sent him off to work. And, you know, I didn't even ask him for his feedback, what he thought. I was just using the product, and, you know, it was taken care of. And he came home and he told me, I love those shakes. You know, he's like, I take them for breakfast and I drink them. And he typically had stopped at, you know, the convenience store and would grab like a Dr. Pepper or a Rockstar and donuts or something, you know, the breakfast of champions. And, you know, he's like, I haven't even stopped. I haven't needed to or wanted to, felt like I needed anything else. And it kind of was a catalyst, right, Wendy? It was kind of a catalyst, I think, for him to start working on his health and fitness, because the next thing I knew, we were talking about him joining one of Wendy's challenge groups and doing the 21-day fix and using Shakeology full time. And I was so supportive because I definitely believed in getting healthier, and I knew that there was aspects of his life that this could change, and I was all on board. I was going to do whatever it took to help him be successful. So when he said he wanted to do this, you know, one thing Beachbody does is when you buy Shakeology and a fitness program together, they give you basically the coach membership for free, which then gives you 25% discount on all your products and all of your programs and anything in the future. So, you know, for him to go and try Shakeology, which was about $4 a meal, and I could get it down to about $3.30 a meal, and, you know, we needed this to work for our budget. You know, we needed to make some trade-offs to make it work, and this was one way that we could do it. You know, I signed up as a coach. That's how it was. So I signed up as a Beachbody coach, and it wasn't for me, and I didn't even use the products myself for several months later. But I was going all in to help my husband to find a way to get healthier. And he went all in. He joined the group, and I think this was in like January or February, and he did the 21-day fix. Like, he was all in. He did 100% with the fitness, 100% with the nutrition, drank his Shakeology every day, some days doubled up his workouts, and he got the best results that I've ever seen anyone get in the 21-day fix. He lost 21 pounds in 21 days. And that's a big deal, but it's not a big deal. The big deal was that he would work out and he would go out and chase my kids around the yard. That he would come home and he'd be more excited to see us, and he wanted to go do the things that he wanted to do. And it'd been so hard a few years before. I mean, I'd watched him for years as we would go do things as a family, and he wouldn't want to come with us. Or I thought he wouldn't want to come with us. And, gosh, I just started to see that this wasn't him not wanting to be with his family and do things with us. He felt like he couldn't. He felt like he couldn't because of how he felt, of how tired he was, you know, how low energy he was. I mean, he'd had previous back injuries, so he had reoccurring pain through those things. And, you know, working on this journey, starting to make changes to his fitness, to his nutrition, gave him his life back in a short 3 weeks' time. And he kept going, and he lost almost 50 pounds. And, you know, like all of us, he's had some ups and downs too, and gone back and forth, because it's hard to change habits, but I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of what he accomplished, and he knows now what he can do, and he knows how it's changed his life, and that really made an impact to me. And so I decided I should be a customer. So I'm a Beachbody coach turned customer, and I was 7 months pregnant at the time, you guys. I had attended recently a live event with Wendy, and I loved what I saw about Beachbody and the culture. And I mean, what I saw was people who were so happy, and they had so much energy, and they were so excited, and they were working out, and they were, you know, up on stage teaching people how to be great, and they were sharing their secrets of what made them successful, and they were focused on how can we help more people get healthy, how can we help more people to live better. And it was amazing. You know, I saw a lot of what I loved in the culture of where I worked before, and I saw more because I saw a real purpose. You guys, this wasn't just about going and making money and you know, closing deals. This was something that was really changing people, that was helping them to do more, to gain confidence, to have energy, to not have to take medications anymore, you know, to really make changes. You know, there's so many things in the health industry, and, you know, obesity is, I mean, it's an ungodly trend, really. 10 years from now, it's projected that half of Americans will have diabetes or be pre-diabetic. And, oh my gosh, it's so, how can we not help people? You know, we give people pills, we give people medications, and it controls their symptoms, but it doesn't change them. It doesn't change their situation. And what if we could what if I could do what just happened for my husband in a short period of time? What if I could give that to someone else? And I just felt like this was something that I couldn't ignore. I couldn't not do, because I myself loved fitness. I wanted to be healthier myself. I knew if I worked on my nutrition, that I could be healthier too, you know, because I exercise fine, no problems. You don't have to prompt me to do that. I'm up every morning and have been for years. But give up my ice cream at night, that was something that was really hard for me. So I found myself just starting to engage in the Beachbody community. I listened to calls. They have a call every single week that they provide training for their coaches, and these are coaches who are successful or leaders in the company, and they help us to learn how to do this, how to set goals, how to develop systems that you can duplicate success, how to improve and how to develop yourself. And I was actually mopping my kitchen floor. I was mopping my kitchen floor and listening to one of these calls, and I just remember thinking, what would I be doing if I weren't listening to this call right now? You know, I might have some music on or be jamming out or doing something, but it just really made me realize how much I loved growing, you know, how much I craved wanting to grow and be developed and to make myself better, and taking advantage of listening just to these calls and trainings that our team was doing and that our upline teams were doing was just helping me to be better, was helping me to gain confidence in my own journey, in making myself healthier, in learning how I could be successful at this, because I think that's so scary to jump into something new and feel like you've got to figure it all out. Well, you don't have to figure it all out, because we got systems in place, we have good training, we have systems for you to follow, that if you do the work, if you put the action forward, you will be successful in this. So I decided that I should go for this, that I should share this and help people. And I was so scared to do that because, you guys, I didn't have a network of people. I didn't feel like I had a network of people to talk to. I had zero social media presence. I wasn't even on Facebook. I wasn't doing anything like that. I was 7 months pregnant at the time, so I had no transformation, and really I wasn't even able to start a transformation at that point. So I really just felt in my head all of these things that I felt like I needed to be successful, to be a coach, to show people that, you know, hey, you should do this. I was like, I don't have any of it. I don't have any experience. I'm not certified. I don't, you know, I don't really have anything to offer to people other than that I've run marathons and, you know, triathlons, and I have worked on being healthy. So, but I decided I was going to do it anyway. And what I did, I remember the post. I shared a picture of me pregnant, and I shared some information about a book that I was reading at the time. It was by Lindsay Brin, on how to have a healthy pregnancy. And it was a book that I was using to help me to modify the exercises that I was doing so that they would fit being healthy, you know, being appropriate for somebody who was pregnant. And I just shared that I was doing this and that, you know, I was working hard to have my healthiest pregnancy ever, that this was baby number 5, and I wanted to give her the best start in life, and I wanted to be healthy myself, and I wanted to feel good about me. And I shared this book, and I just said, you know, hey, if you guys are, I hope this helps somebody. And it was amazing, the comments that happened. I mean, I wish I could pull it back up, because it was shocking to me that anyone would even read it. And I got personal messages from people who were new moms and people who were going to be pregnant or had just found out they were pregnant, and they were excited to have something because they wanted to do something better. They wanted to be better. They wanted to feel good through their pregnancies. And you know, I realized that as small as that is, I mean, it seems so insignificant. And it wasn't really a success that I'd had. I hadn't really had anything to show. But I just shared part of me, a part of my story, a part of what I was doing. And, you know, it didn't impact everyone, I'm sure, and there's probably a lot of people that it didn't care, probably a lot of you wouldn't care, but it meant something to someone, and that was enough for me to see that I mattered, that what I had to offer people mattered, because it would affect somebody and it would help them. So I decided that I would go a step further. So it gave me a little bit of confidence, and I decided I would lead my first clean eating group. So I jumped in, I led this clean eating group for 5 days. I just put a couple of posts together, and I jumped into this group to do this with them and to start eating healthy. And I decided that I was going to do the 21-day fix. Guys, I still hadn't even used the Beachbody programs at this point. I decided I was going to do the 21-day fix right after I had my daughter Kennedy. So I, you know, put together a challenge group of people who would you know, want to do this with me. I just said, hey, I'm going to be working to lose this baby weight. I want to get back to you know, pre-baby shape and then go beyond, and I would love for people to join me. And I think I had 2 or 3 people that jumped into this group, and we did it together. We did the 21-day fix. It was the first time that I used the Beachbody programs, the first time I was using Shakeology, and I lost 6 pounds. And I remember looking at the picture of my before and my after and thinking, I lost 6 pounds. It doesn't even look like I lost 6 pounds. You know, I just didn't really see much of a change outwardly, but I felt great, and I was shocked, honestly, that I lost 6 pounds because I just didn't really believe that programs like that would work. And you know, but what I found was that it all worked together. You know, I'd always had the fitness, but I'd never worked on my nutrition, and I was adding things in to eat the right portions, to fuel my body with the right nutrients first, and then work on making sure that I was moving in the right direction. And I gave myself a community of support to be successful, right? Because this was hard. You know, I seriously ate ice cream every night before I went to bed, and this is a really hard habit for me to break, that nighttime eating. But I wanted to be strong because I'd invited other people to do this program with me, and I didn't want to fail, and I didn't want them to fail, and I knew if I was fighting to be successful that they could fight to be successful. And we made progress, and I just kept going. And you guys, I didn't do anything big. I would just try to help 3 people a month. I would try to help 3 to 5 people a month, and I just, every day I would try to share something of what I was doing. I put together another group where it was just a free email list where I was going to share 5 days of tips on how to plan and prepare your food. And you guys, that was something I did 2 years ago, and I have people that have now lost 30 to 50 pounds because they started in that group on that email of just getting some tips about how to prepare their food, but then they saw results from that, and they were excited about that and wanted to do more and wanted to learn what I was doing. And you know, so I shared that with them and shared how they could do it too, and provided some support to them. And that's what coaching is all about. This is about, one, working on yourself, you know, working to get yourself in better shape, to find what you want to do, what that catalyst is. And then it's about working on yourself with your personal development. You know, like I mentioned, I listened to team calls. I started reading books again, books that would help me to develop a better mindset, to help me to learn how to be a better leader, how to learn more about nutrition, right? I just started reading and doing more things to develop myself better. And then I just shared this with people. I didn't share a lot about the Beachbody products. I didn't, throw up a post of all of the trainers and things like that. I just was showing people what worked for me, or sharing a recipe, or, telling them why Shakeology was making me feel different and how it was giving me results. And that's the catalyst. And I really want you to internalize that, because I think none of us want to be that MLM person that I told you about at the beginning, that bombarded their friends and family with all of these products and these home parties and tried to get people to sign up to run parties and do all these things. None of us want to do that. We don't have time to do that. Everybody in this group I know is busy. Everybody here I know has a busy, busy life. And this is something that you can do and incorporate, one, for you. And as you do it for yourself, you're going to find that it attracts other people, and that other people want to do the same thing, and you can help them to do that by just inviting them to join with you and do that same thing. So I'm really passionate about this opportunity because, again, it's actually helping people to get better, and you don't have to, and it's helped me to find balance. I've been doing this for 2 years now. I've lost 25 pounds myself. I have about 40 people on my team. We're in the top 5% of the network of coaches, of over 40,000 coaches that are part of Team Beachbody. And I have to be really honest with you, I haven't really done much as far as recruiting. I've mostly focused on helping people to get results, which means the income that I'm making is mostly due to commissions. And you get a 25% commission anytime that you help somebody with a product or program. And I just 450,000 coaches. Thanks, Wendy. But guys, the top 5%, and we have just broken the ice as far as what we're doing. But I decided this year to put a bigger focus on helping people to see the financial opportunity in this too. Because while it's great to help people to physically get results, there's so many of us who are ready to take on something that, again, can create more time for us. You don't have a lot more time, and you don't need to invest a ton of time to make this successful, but it's something that you can incorporate into your life to help you to move forward. And you guys, some of you are going to be rock star coaches with full-time opportunities with Team Beachbody. You're going to be able to quit your corporate job. You're going to be able to fire your boss if that's what you want to do. And you can do that. And you can do that in as little as 16 months to 2 to 3 years. It all depends on what you put into it and how much effort. So I don't want to, I think some people feel like maybe there's this magic bullet and they're just sitting waiting for it to happen. They're waiting for this to grow. But it requires work. It requires effort. But when you put the effort into it, you're fully repaid with this opportunity to give you more balance in your life. What could you do if you had more time? If you were able to create the income opportunity to leave your full-time job or take on part-time work, or just use this to have extra money that you could pay off your mortgage, or you could put more money towards your retirement, or you could take more vacations. There's just nothing bad that can really come from this opportunity, and you can make it what works for you. I have most of the coaches on my team do work full-time, and they are parents, and they are very busy people. And I probably invest around 2 to 3 hours in my business now. And once my kids go back to school, I do plan to invest a little bit more time in that, because I really want to grow this opportunity. I really want to get back to my full-time income potential that I was making before. And I really feel like I can do that by the end of the year if I put some focused energy and time into this. But I can tell you, I don't have 3, 4, 5 hours a day to sit down and work on my Beachbody business. But I make it work for me. The great thing about this is, I believe in getting up in the morning and having a successful morning routine. So part of that is working on my Beachbody business. And I do that in the morning before everyone gets up, and I'm able to get my workout in, and I'm able to work for an hour to an hour and a half in the morning before anyone is even knows that I'm missing, so to speak. And then I'm able to focus on my family, and I'm able to give them the time that I need. And then sometimes I'll put more time in at night, or, you know, when my kids are napping. You know, if I were, you know, a lot of my coaches that are working, you know, some of them are working it in just small pockets, you know, doing voice memos on their way to work, or being able to take their lunch break and check in with their groups, or, you know, just take those small pockets of time and use them efficiently and effectively. And what is amazing about coming into this, and what is that we have systems in place. You know, I've worked for the last year to create duplicated systems of success, and I've really studied and mastered this company and what it takes to be successful. And you guys have that. It's like getting your own business in a little box, and you've got the tools, you've got the trainings that are there. And if you can't be on live trainings, you can hit recordings, because it's all about flexibility for you. And we've got documents, and we've got structure to how to do everything in this business, how to develop your network, you know, how to invite people to groups. What do you do when you get a new customer? What do you do when you have a new coach that joins your team? You guys, it's all there for you to make this and simplify the process so that you can take the success that's already happened here and you can make it your own, and then you can teach your team to be successful as well. So I'm just so thankful for this opportunity. You know, it's helped bring into my life better health for our family, for not just me, but I think of who that affects. You know, that it's affected my husband, it affects my kids, and in affecting my kids, it's going to affect their kids, because they're going to carry this forward, and we're going to start seeing a different trend. You know, as we are able to help people one person at a time to live healthier. And again, it's not about just losing weight. It's about how you feel. You just feel so good when you're working on yourself. And you guys, fitness is the best business plan that you will ever find. If you do not have fitness incorporated, and I'm talking like wellness, fitness, nutrition, if you're not incorporating working on yourself right now, you have an opportunity for improvement, because as you're working on that, you're going to sleep better, you're going to be more creative, you're going to be able to have more energy, you're going to work better, you're going to be able to give more to other people, you're going to be more confident in who you are. There's just nothing bad that comes from that. And, you know, then you've also got a positive community of people that you're surrounding yourself with. You have a purpose, you have a driven purpose in helping people to do something that's meaningful and impactful. We all want to make an impact in our lives, and I can't think of a better way to do it than what you give people back. And it's, you know, I've become such a positive person because that's what I share. I just give positivity. I give people messages of hope and inspiration, and it just comes right back to me. It's something that always is there, and it's helped me to just be so much better in my life, a better mom, a better spouse, a better daughter, a better sister, better for my community. I believe in this, and I am so thankful that I found it. I'm thankful for that it gives me that comfort that I needed to not worry about our finances, that it allows us to have more flexibility. It's allowed us to readapt the lifestyle that we had before I quit my full-time job, that it allows us to do more, and it gives me flexibility. It gives me flexibility to not miss any of my kids' activities. You guys, I spent more time at the school this year than I've ever been able to, and that is a blessing. And every day I have an activity with my kids in the summer while they're off, and I've spent almost every day with my grandparents, who I know won't be around much longer, and I've been able to help them every single day. Every single day that I want to be there, I can be there for them. Anytime that somebody needs something that I wouldn't have been able to help support them with, I'm able to be there. And that is a real gift. It's a real gift I realize now, and that I'll be very thankful for years down the road as that continues to bless our lives and to bless their lives. So thank you for being here. I would love to, if you're interested in this, if you felt something that was compelling to you, if you want to learn more about this, I want to share a little bit more with you. So again, this opportunity tonight was to share my story, to share where I felt like this could have an impact in your lives. And I want to help you to know that there's a lot of successful people doing this, both men and women, people who are working, people who were high-level corporate executives, people who are stay-at-home moms who want a little bit more, who want more fulfillment, you know, dads who want to be home and more present in their kids' lives, have that flexibility. I want to share that with you too. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is actually post a couple of posts. One will be about some of the most commonly asked questions that I get. So I'm going to post a couple of those to kind of give you a little bit more insight into some of the answers about, you know, what does it take to be a coach? How do you earn money? You know, some of the things that you might be questioning yourself about, like I was, you know, that I didn't have a transformation, that I didn't have a network, that I didn't have much presence on social media and things like that. How can you be successful without that? And I just want you to have some stories from other coaches too of how they found success and why this has been successful for them in their lives and a good match for what they wanted to meet their goals. And then I'll reach out to you one-on-one and would love to talk to you about any additional questions that you have. I don't see many questions here. Let me just make sure. But oh, thanks you guys. Such great comments, and I appreciate that. But you know, I want to answer any questions that you have. See if this is the right opportunity and how it can best fit for you right now. You guys, I'm looking for partners. I'm looking for partners in this, people that we can grow and drive this together, because that's really what it's all about, is helping support each other. You know, you earn money with Team Beachbody through helping support people in their fitness, but also to help them get financially fit and to grow a team and mentor people and teach them how to be successful at this, is really where you can benefit yourself to grow the most. And it's so fun to be a part of that, to see people's lives change in so many ways because of what we can give them as leaders, because of what we can give them through our example of hard work and dedication to helping others and to growing something that is allowing us to live the lifestyle that we want to live on our terms and making the decisions for ourselves. So thank you so much again for joining. If you have questions, please post them here, and please check in tomorrow. Whenever you get a chance, I'd love for you to go back and to review the posts that I put up. You know, listen to the stories that are applicable to you, or listen to all of them. And thank you so much for being here and for being an important part of my life. We'll talk to you soon.